If you wanted to know the ins and outs of being a security officer, you came to the right place. I've been a security officer for many years, so I'm going to share with you some things that I suggest you do and some things that I suggest you don't do when you are starting a career as a security officer. Wow, that's amazing. What's going on, AT family? And if you're new to the channel, this is the Human Experience, where we talk tips that can possibly make you money to topics that can possibly save you money, everything in between. So let's get right to it. So first things first, not all security officer jobs are equal. They're not the same. So it's going to vary so much on the security company that you're working for, the location that they put you in, as it relates to what their expectations are, what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do. One thing I can say for sure to remember is that you are not a police officer. You're not law enforcement in a sense to where you can do the things that a police officer can do. Some people get that mixed up and think that, hey, I gotta act as if I'm a police officer. And you can do it all day. You can act like you're a police officer, but at the end of the day, you are not a police officer. So in order to become an unarmed security officer, you have to have your level 2 training. And in order to become a armed security officer, you have to have your level 3 training. They give you a license like this. This is my laminated commission license. Commission means you're armed. You can actually carry a weapon. Shortly after that, they sent me a real license. This is my commission license that I received after I took my level 3 training. So that's pretty much how that works. Like I said, unarmed, you level 2. Once you become armed, that means you pass your level 3 training. So dress code varies from location to location. It depends on the security company you're working for, what uniforms they have. You know, do they want you to just wear a polo shirt and some slacks? Do they want you to have the button-up shirt with the slacks? Can you just wear a t-shirt, you know, with some pants? You know, are you armed? Do you have to have a badge on or things of that nature? One thing that I've noticed as a security officer, mostly when I'm working days, but even at nights, the company that you're working at seems to watch you more than they're watching their own employees. So it's just like, I'm supposed to be helping you secure the place, but you're spending your time watching me to see what I'm doing. Using your cameras in your building to look at me instead of looking at your employees or even the customers if I'm at retail. So that's one thing I didn't like about certain places when I worked security. Your number one job as a security officer is to observe and report. Like, observe, watch what's going on, and report it. The more you can fill that book up with what you did, the better it looks on you. Because sometimes they're going to review and see what you did, right? That shift. Oh, this security guard didn't do anything. Well, if you wrote down that you did a lot, even though you may not have did a lot, but you write it as if, you know, I patrolled the hall, patrolled the north wing, seen a bird in the window, ran the bird away, you know, seen someone outside at 12:30 a.m., asked them to leave the premises. First employee entered the building at 8 a.m., whatever the case is, right? But from my experience, the more you report, the better it looks, that as if you were doing something, right? A lot of times you will have a field supervisor pull up on you. So that's their job, to drive around the city, the area, and make sure that the security guards are on duty doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? So what I would do is try to figure out what time they would normally come by so that I can be expecting them. Sometimes they'll switch it up, switch the schedule up, switch the time that they'll come by. I don't know if that's intentional. Sometimes I do think it's intentional, but the shifts that I like to do when I was security was overnights. Overnights at locations where hardly no one was there, because I didn't like to be micromanaged. I didn't like to be watched 24/7. So, I mean, you may like to be in those places where they, you know, a lot of traffic, a lot of things going on, so time can go by for you. If you're getting value out of this video, show some love and smash the like, subscribe, and bell notification to get the latest HE content. So when I did security, some locations would have checkpoints, and you would have this wand, and you would take this wand and put it against that magnet, and that would send data to a system saying, okay, you were there at this time. And so they want you to do a round every hour, or they want you to do a round every 2 hours. So that was how they was able to keep up with if you did that round or not, because you would have to walk through the building and go to those checkpoints and hit them. I'm sure they may have other systems at other locations, but that's one way that they're able to know that you're actually doing your job. Another way is cameras. So most locations will have cameras everywhere. And so, yeah, they're gonna see if they really wanna find out what you're doing, they can tap into the system and see, okay, they're here. Sometimes if I don't wanna be seen, I will find spots that, if I can move around, I will find spots that don't have a camera. As long as you're able to do that, like if you supposed to be at one spot and that spot happens to have a camera, then yeah, you might have to be at that spot. But if you're able to move around a little bit, find a spot that don't have a camera. So when you're working the type of shifts that I worked in at the facilities that I've worked in, it's not like most jobs where you work and then when it's time to get off at 7 o'clock, you clock out and you leave, right? It's more so, you gotta make sure your relief is there. So to explain that more, it's basically just saying, even though it's 7 o'clock and it's time for you to go, if your relief isn't there, if the security guard that's supposed to relieve you isn't there, you have to wait until that security guard arrives. You always hope that that security guard arrives like 10 minutes early, 15 minutes early, so you'll know that they're gonna be here, and it's like, okay, now I can get ready to leave. But sometimes they may not. Yeah, stuff like that could happen. And so just be mindful that sometimes you do have to wait until you get relieved in order for you to be able to clock out. Always remember that you are disposable. Let's just say when I was working out, when I say you're disposable, it's just saying that as long as the security company you're working for can put a body at that location, they are okay. But that's all they care about. They just care about pleasing the client. So the security company you're working for has to get contracts to secure locations. And so when they get that contract, they say for instance, the company that they contract with says we need 10 security officers. We need them to work this shift, this shift, this shift. And so that's their job as a security company, to get 10 security officers to fill in those shifts. It don't matter who, they just need somebody there, right? Do your job for sure, right? Do what you're getting paid to do. But just know this is a job that you can be replaced the next day. If you're looking to get security guard gear, check out my link below and you can choose from a whole list of items that you can purchase today. Check it out. So I hope you got value out this video. And if you did, smash the like, subscribe, and bell notification to get the latest HE content. And wow, that's amazing.